So for all those that have currently backed the HASLAB DEATHSAURUS, here is your update. This is the prototype first look of the figure. It looks nice. None of the chrome has been applied here yet, but we get to see basically what the figure can do. Very G1-like. He's actually very tall because he is the same size as Victory Saber. So that's combined Star Saber and Victory Leo. Of course, they have the Agmatic Hound standing there, and you see the height of Hound compared to DEATHSAURUS. Now, as you know, I have not backed DEATHSAURUS. I canceled my backing due to reasons with Star Saber. And because of that, I really don't want to be in a situation waiting for all this time, and it's a disappointment. But if it's decent, I will pick this up on the aftermarket since I've now hit a windfall at work. All right, cool beans. It's how I even be able to afford more good stuff. But we'll talk about that later. So here's the prototype of, I believe, the People and Boater. So People and Boater, they look nice. They actually look much better than what we got with the other two. I don't even know their names, you know, because I'm just so disappointed with that set. But they do look nice. You know, I guess they're the same molds from previous Micromasters. I don't have a lot of these, so, you know, you can fill me in if you want, but I guess they're retooling of the Micromasters or something. I don't know. But the boat does look nice. Like I said before, again, I'm not hating on this. My reasons are more or less personal, and I don't want to be waiting, and, you know, got what we get when we have with Star Saber. So I just, you know, like I said, but everything looks good so far. So now we'll have all 4 of the Micromasters from Victory. And of course, you know, here's a picture of the Star Saber and Victory Saber and the DEATHSAURUS. And so you get to see the breast force. So basically we're looking at, I don't know the names. I just call it breast lion. So the breast lion, you know, is the crest on the chest. And that's the one thing I do say. I do like the look of him. He's very, very just beautifully G1. I do like that. And I don't regret anything because there's so many changes in life, you know, and it just so happens that if this comes my way, yes, I can really afford to pick this up without problems like I used to. So that's a big help. You know, big help. That's, you know, that's what you get when you work for a large Fortune 50 utility company. So yeah, it looks good. The articulation looks nice. This thing is going to look nice with chrome. I hope this time they use vacuumized chrome or something. I don't want it to come flaking off my hand. I don't want any paint issues and having to do paint corrections and messing up my figure to try to get it correct because of what the issues are. So if I do buy this, it better be good. If it's not, if it's showing problems, I'm not going to touch it because right now I'm very happy with my MMC DEATHSAURUS, and trust me, you know, but it's a stylized look, kind of departure from the G1, and it's a little complicated, but it's a lot more heavy and has the metal. But the way that the breast force works in the HASLAB version is G1 cartoon accurate, and yeah, that kind of still, you know, gets me like, oh man, you know, I might have to get this on the aftermarket, but hey, you know, it is what it is. I paid the late tax. I had it in my hands. I didn't, so. No, but I do like everything so far. I do like how it looks. You know, as I go through these pictures, I get more and more enthused. I wish I did it, but I'm not going to get upset because I can get it. You can always get it. You can always get it when you want it. Don't ever sweat something. Just come and get it when it's time. If you got to pay a little more because you want it, that's the cost you pay. But as long as you got it, nobody cares. So if I do pick this up, I know I got to pay more. It's all right. But yeah, I like that. I love how the bird looks and it forms into the box. I always look at DEATHSAURUS as being like an upgraded Soundwave because basically he's got, you know, line, but you know, they just can't fit in his chest or something like that, you know. Well, maybe it might be related to Soundwave for some reason, you know. You never know, you know. Maybe he turned into a letter T post 2. There's the lion, breast of lion, and yeah, you know, he's got the wings. Now I do see the hollowness there already with the waffling and the plastic. You know, again, it's kind of why I'm, you know, not like, oh, I'm upset, you know, because imagine this being chromed out and waffling. But the red eagle, breast of eagle turns into that gun, boxy gun, which the MMC's version does not do. MMC version doesn't store anything in the chest. It just latches onto the chest. And it's a very weak connection with that. I know third-party companies are trying to make a box chest, but they didn't. I don't know if I have to go back and look for it. And also, they don't have the ability to create the bow and arrow kind of like look, you know, where you could basically shoot the arrow off of the breast of the lion like he's a bow. And that's something that this Deathsaurus can do, and that's going to be a plus. You know, the posability, even though it's boxy, looks a little nice there. But I will say the caveat for owning MMC is they have diecast. Transformation is a little involved, but it's heavier, more denser, and a hell of a lot more posable. So we'll see. I would love to get this because I would love to do a comparison. Now the shoulder shield, again, I'll give that to MMC right off the bat. This one, yeah, it's super hollow as usual, but you know, it has its purpose. You know, so when you get ready to turn into, I believe when you turn into Deathsaurus, this, you know, kaiju mode or whatever. So as you can see here, it's showing us in the transformation. Like I said before, there's a whole video on this, you know, I don't, you know, but we're just screenshots. And of course, when you turn into the Deathsaurus mode, the tail latches onto the back. You know, another thing too, I do like about it, it's going to be simple. When I say simple, like simple, but simpler than MMC. The MMC is kind of, you got to do some things, you know, to get to it. I don't really like transforming it. And then there's also the issue on MMC with the head in robot mode is really not connected. It's held almost literally by friction. There's a lot of things that MMC did right, and then there's some things that they left out that they did wrong, and I wish they update or correct, but it is what it is. But yeah, if you're going for Deathsaurus and you got Star Saber, you got to get it. Now, if you didn't back it, like I said before, you're going to be on the aftermarket, and I'm saying it here. I canceled mine, so I'm going to be looking on the aftermarket to pick one up. And the other thing too, with knowing that they gave free samples to certain reviewers and everybody else is backing it, this leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It just, and you know, Star Saber just still pushes me away from this. But here's the living metal cannon, and that looks like that's pretty much finished. You know, he's got, you know, here's the bird beak. I love to see how they're gonna have this chromed out and everything like that. The cannon looks really nice. I do really like the way the cannon looks. And then of course, here's the stand where you can put the bird. I guess the kaiju's on, the breast is on the back, and how the cannon folds up and fits into the throne, how the shield fits into the throne with the bird on top. It's pretty nice. The sword, the Falchion sword, as I call it, that's pretty big, bigger than that spudger they gave to Star Saber. I really hope third party does the Star Saber and does it better. I'm sorry. Somebody needs to do it, you know. I don't want to say to do it, but I mean, it just, and of course there's the mace weapon. It's pretty decent. You know, plastic, and the sword fits on the back. Again, pretty nice. And like I said, all of the accessories are G1 accurate. And of course you see how the plushing effects are and how he looks and everything with the throne. So it's fantastic. So overall, I would say yes. I don't regret not backing it, because I'm not going to go that far, because like I said, I know what my reasons are. But for those that backed it, kudos to you. And I think you're going to get, I pray, being how he is more boxy, that everything is poured into him. I hope he's the best. I really do. Because after Star Saber, it kind of, you know, set me off a little bit. But there's no thoughts. I know if you backed it, a lot of people are going to want it. I'm not questioning that. Don't come in the comments and tell me, but I didn't back it and blah, 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 this and that. I don't really care. All right. It's just money. All right. I make money, so I ain't worried about that. If I want to get it, I get it. If I don't get it, I don't get it. I'm a man. I ain't no crybaby. What's wrong with y'all? So what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. Again, it's the Super Robot Ed, bringing more news and reviews. Until then, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.